So, today we're once again gonna go ahead with the road less traveled by someone. I do not want to scroll up because I'm probably gonna lose where I've stopped yesterday, because I've actually had to look for it as well because I've forgotten to highlight it. But yeah, anyway, we're gonna go through it after the intro because we're always doing that. Yeah. And I just noticed that there is just such a lot of echo here. Such a lot because, as you might can see, I don't know if you can see it, but I've tidied up my room completely. Like there is nothing anymore in my room, which is a big ass problem because now it is indeed not that easy to just have it kind of soundproof here. But I'm gonna deal with it, you know, because I'm always dealing with stuff. And there is always a solution to stuff. So let's do it like this. And then it should be at least there, a little bit finer. Yes, a little tiny bit. It's not super duper well and stuff, but I think it is good to go. And I hope in post-production that I'm also gonna be able to just do something, a little tiny bit at least. But yeah, I just shouldn't touch anything because everything is loud. And I would also actually need some sort of a thing there on top of it, but I don't know where it is. So yeah, anyway, we're just gonna go through it, you know, we're just gonna have a look at it, we're just gonna go through it, just gonna talk about it, and then we're gonna see what the result is. And there's a fly in my room, and the fly is pissing me off a bit. So we have stopped apparently with passive dependent personality disorder. In their daydreams, they envisioned only an effortless passive state of receiving care. You cannot be a person worthy of love when your primary goal in life is to be passively loved. Passive dependent people, when married, will actually forsake skills that they had gained before marriage. An example of this is the uncommon syndrome of the wife who can't drive a car and stuff. Could you please go away? Thank you. I'm scared. Please go away. You scare me. Thank you. Which, by the way, is a pretty interesting thing, isn't it? You know? Allowing yourself to be dependent on another person is the worst possible thing you can do to yourself. You would be better off by being independent or dependent on heroin. What the fuck? Well, I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't necessarily say so. But I don't know. Like, maybe there's even studies on that. And there is not too much to be said against studies, you know? As long as you have a supply of it, heroin will never let you down. If it is there, it will always make you happy. But if you expect another person to make you happy, you'll be endlessly disappointed. Yes, indeed. Yes, truly indeed. And I think it is also something that's incredibly important to communicate in a relationship. And which is hopefully also understood by both sides. And if it is not understood, and if it is kind of the case that one person needs the other, then, but not vice versa, so not in both directions, then it is, I think, we love pets, quote unquote love. We do not know what our pets are thinking. This lack of knowledge allows us to project onto our not parents, but pets, our own thoughts and feelings, and thereby to feel an emotional closeness with them, which may not correspond to reality at all. Because they might think, well, such an asshole. Could be the case. If their wills begin to diverge significantly from our own, we get rid of them. We send our pets to obedience school. We seek to foster their dependency. We do not want them to grow up and leave home. It is their attachment to us rather than their independence from us that we value in our pets. Yes, indeed. You know, we want them to be dependent. You know, we want to care for them, and we want them to just be, I don't know, something. Maybe this is just one of the reasons why people actually want to have pets, because they are so similar to kids, and or to, you know, maybe phrase it a little tiny bit differently. Maybe this is just a reason why people want to have pets instead of children, because it is kind of the same. And, well, you know what I mean. You know, not really kind of the same, but there are similarities. You know, there are some things that we can see and we are seeing and stuff. But yeah. And now I get tired once again. It's such a crazy thing, man. It really is, you know, that I'm getting tired because of whatever. And maybe I should actually be doing it like this. Maybe this is actually making it way better. And I think it is making it a bit better. Yes, it is. At least a tiny little bit with all those thingy things there. Yeah, well, it is actually way better. Maybe I should just cover myself, cover my table with it. Those plastic bags, they piss me off because they're really loud, but it is what it is. Love is not simply giving. It is judicious giving and judicious withholding as well. It is judicious praising and judicious, I hope that I'm pronouncing this correctly, probably not, but yeah. It is judicious arguing, struggling, confronting, urging, pushing and pulling into, in addition to comforting. Not giving at the right time was more compassionate than giving at the wrong time. Fostering independence was more loving than taking care of people who could otherwise take care of themselves. Yes, quite. You know, if people really depend on you, I mean, they're gonna be happy, but if they don't, then I don't know. Like, I think with being nice, maybe. Should I phrase it like this? I'm not really sure. Not really sure if I should phrase it in that way, but I think that if you do, I mean, there is a lot of good things that you can do, but I believe that you can do a lot of good things in quite a wrong way. Either by communicating them in a wrong way or by, well, first of all, also by expecting something to happen. You know, and if it is then not going to happen, then you're going to be just crazy as sad and whatnot. This is not good. It's really not good. But I mean, like, there's, I don't know, you can be nice and still be received as an asshole. Not because you're the person who you are, but I don't know, because people then think, well, I can do this on my own, you know, I don't need you. But you just think that I need you and stuff like that, but no, not really. So I don't know, like there's a lot of different things that you could interpret there, that you could say there. But yeah. Love is not a feeling, love is an action. Taking loving and constructive action toward a person you consciously dislike. What? Taking love and constructive action toward a person you consciously dislike. Well, I'm not quite sure about that. Genuine love implies commitment and the exercise of wisdom. True love is committed, thoughtful decision. Genuine love is violational rather than emotional. The person who truly loves does so because of a decision to love. This person has made a commitment to be loving, whether or not the loving feeling is present. Which kind of is actually the case. And this is also one of the reasons why I believe that even though this is a fucked up thing, and I don't want this to fool people, but I believe that you could find, or you could develop a sense of love for just quite everyone. I mean, like, looks play a role, of course, you know, and everyone that is saying like, no, you know, it's not just that of an important thing for me, like, you're a fucking liar. You know, it does matter. It does, you know. Doesn't mean that you just only are gonna go for just the super duper good looking person. Not really, you know, we all have different taste. We all think that different looks are just differently beautiful and whatnot. But I think that when you're just living with a person, and you might also be having children, I don't know, but you do not really just quite think that he or she's looking good. Maybe there are some things that are bothering you and whatnot, but I still believe that you can find some love, or you could find love towards this person, because I don't know, I think it is just more or less a process. I don't, of course, you know, there's like, okay, I see this person, I'm so deep in love with this person, you know, yeah, based on just looks, based on their behavior, based on maybe also the characteristics could also be the case if you know the person a little tiny bit better, but I don't know. I think, I mean, it might also be the exact same thing with passion, you know. You can find passion in just such a lot of things. And what I just realized is that I didn't start the recording once again. Oh my God, I'm such a piece of shit. Why do I forget about that? How can I forget about that? So, I've once again, and I don't know, it's probably been like 10 minutes or something. Yeah, exactly 10 minutes. Like the same, like the last time. I've unfortunately forgotten to record the whole thing. So there might have been a picture, there might have been just black screen, some font there maybe, I don't know. I'm sorry for that, but I'm not going to repeat it because I'm probably not going to say the exact same things. And I believe that, I don't know, maybe it doesn't even matter. You know, maybe it just also because like the podcast listeners are truly supportive. A lot of people from what I've seen, I think Canada came to the podcast, if I'm not sure. Then, of course, English people, really appreciate it. And I really appreciate all the diversified countries, all the diversified voices, all the diversified people there. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead with the screen and with showing you what I'm talking about. It is necessary for a loving person to avoid acting on feelings of love. I may meet a woman who strongly attracts me, whom I feel like loving, but because it would be destructive to my marriage to have an affair at the time, I will say vocally or in the silence of my heart, I feel like loving you, but I'm not going to. Which is a fucking strong thing. This is a really, really, really strong thing. I feel like loving you, but I'm not going to. Love is always either work or courage. If an act is not one of work or courage, then it is not an act of love. Quite. I mean, even though just because I was talking about a process before, I mean, there is also going to be a process of getting this person quiet, you know, and just making this person maybe fall in love with you quite as well or some shit. And I think it is an interesting process. It is an interesting process in terms of like, it's might also make fun, but the problem is, I mean, once you get there, I don't know. You know, you could either be just really happy about it because you've got there, but on the other hand, it could also be like, well, what's happening now? You know, I've just gone what I want, but what's up now? I know, should I just do something again? Probably not a good idea, and things like that. But yeah, this might be a problem. You know, on the other hand, this is work. You know, and this is why I thought about it, and it might also just have something to do with courage. Just taking your quote-unquote chances that you might or might not be having and trying out stuff and just really, yeah. But I don't know, like, I don't know what it is like when you are in a relationship, if there's actually like such a lot of work or courage there. I'm unsure about that. The more children feel valuable, the more they will begin to say things of value. Listening is by far the most important form of attention. And it is always the case, whether it is about children, whether it is about people you really like and you really also want to give something to, then just fucking listen. Listen to what they have to say, listen to what they want to talk about and ask them. Just be interested in these people. Like, I think it is one of the most important things you can be doing and one of the best things you also can be doing. Attention is an act of will, of work against the inertia of our own minds, which is also a really good one. There's a lot of good thoughts there today. Death can become our ally, still fearsome but continually a source of wise counsel. The only real security in life lies in releasing life's insecurity. It is our sense of commitment after, could you please go away? Thank you. Commitment after the wedding which makes possible the transition from falling in love to genuine love. Children cannot grow to psychological maturity in an atmosphere of unpredictability. Which, and today once again, and I've today once again seen that I have to consume more. I have to, I mean, I think it might sound a little bit dumb, a little bit strange, but I kind of have to consume more things that are smart. So I'm not just really talking about, I'm not really talking about some YouTube shit or some TV shit. I more or less just talk about those things that I am interested in and that I'm also talking about on a daily basis, more or less. Because, I don't know, of course you can, and I do, and like creating a lot. But if you don't know what to talk about, and if you don't have a lot of insights into different directions, into different thoughts, then it is a little bit difficult to talk about things in the end. So I've actually been listening to a Tim Ferriss interview with Mate. I'm not quite sure. I think he's a psychologist originally from Hungary, so Budapest, as far as I remember, if I'm quite unsure. And just because of Nazi things and whatnot, they had to leave. And he was also talking about like the correlation between your childhood traumas and therefore then addiction and also all the other things like obesity, which kind of is also an addiction if you really think about it. As he also said, which I thought like, well, yeah, quite actually the case. And yeah, it's really an interesting thing, a really an interesting interview. I might be linking down in the description. I don't think so, ja. Wo soll das? Also kann auf dem Balkon anstellen. Ja, aber der ist ja noch ein bisschen nass. Wahrscheinlich möchten sie es nicht so einstellen. Nein, ich kann nicht, weil sonst ist es laut. Danke. Ja. Couples cannot resolve issues of marriage without the security of knowing the act of struggling over these issues will not itself destroy the relationship. I once again have to repeat it. Couples cannot resolve issues of marriage without the security of knowing the act of struggling over these issues will not itself destroy the relationship. I don't really get it, but yeah, anyway. There are two ways to confront or criticize another human being: with instinctive and spontaneous certainty that one is right, or with the belief that one is probably right, arrived at through scrupulous self-doubting and self-examination. The first is the way of arrogance, and the second is the way of humility. With instinctive and spontaneous certainty that one is right, or with the belief that one is probably right, arrived at through scrupulous self-doubting and self-examination. Which I think if you're also communicating that in that way, that it could really make a lot of good stuff happen, because I don't know. And I mean, I think it is a good point to talk about that. I just really believe, and we're gonna finish up with this one today, I really just believe in being a nice person. And this is also quite my goal. You know, I've recently broke up with my girlfriend, and I'm quite fine with it in terms of like, of course, I mean, there are some periods of me being sad and whatnot, but we together decided to do that, and we decided that it is a good decision, that we should be doing that, and that it is the next step we both should be taking. And I don't know, and because of that, I've really thought to myself and said to myself that I just do want to get things done in terms of like progressing in terms of myself. Because yeah, I mean, there's a few things that I could work on. Me being a little bit more organized, which I have done today. This is also one of the reasons why I've liked myself, just tidying up my whole room, making everything clean and whatnot. And I'm really trying hard. I really am gonna try hard that it is gonna stay that way. That I'm not gonna just do it as always and be like, well, you know, I don't want to, you know. I really, really have to be conscious about that, because I believe, and this is another very important thing that I've been thinking about lately, when there is a lot of stuff around you, when there is a lot of junk around you, then what do you expect about your thoughts? You know, I think that when everything is clean, everything is just nice and stuff, that that you can think better and also more, maybe not just direct or linear or some shit like that, but more or less thinking in a, yeah, how should I say? Thinking in a way of clearness, yes. You know, just clear communication, clear thinking. And this is certainly something that I need while I'm learning. This is certainly something that I need when I'm recording and all sorts of things. But yeah. Let's see. Shallow brooks are noisy, still waters run deep. I don't get it, but I know I think it is probably pretty smart. Yeah, but I'm gonna highlight the other one there. Loving must be focused as productively as possible through self-discipline. Yeah, since I mean, it is an act of doing something. Yeah. Your children are not your children. Give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. Their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you. For life goes not backward. Which, by the way, is something that I see, and I think is actually not good. That when your children are like you, because let's think about it. I mean, let's say you're 50 or 40, something like that. You're a little bit, you know, older, mature. Let's just say mature. You're not pretty old. You're actually at half. So let's talk about that for a second. The thing is, it is a completely new generation. It is a completely new generation with different thoughts and different feelings and different ways of just viewing the world. As, I don't know, like a few years ago, I don't know, don't care if my fucking car is just polluting the whole fucking environment. Nowadays it's something different. And of course, there are some universal things and some really important universal things as being nice, as kindness, as just all these things. You know, these things that you can just truly, honestly, and for sure say that they're going to be important also in this child's life. But I don't know, like just saying, oh, the internet is just the worst thing there is and whatnot, which is maybe your thought. And it is, of course, very difficult to just not give your children your thoughts and your personality, because they're inevitably going to have that, because they are around you all the fucking time. It is a strange thing. It really is. If your parents fail to care for us, we will likely envision the universe as similarly uncaring. Yes. And this, by the way, because I haven't been talking about it as I've actually been planning to, this interview with Tim Ferriss, it was quite also about parenting. Have I talked about it? I'm not quite sure, but I'm going to repeat it. They have also been talking about parenting and childhood trauma, and yeah, I've been talking about it. And I mean, like, I've always thought, and I still think, like, well, I'm not quite sure. Like, of course, like, those very early experiences and those very early things that you're just seeing and that you're experiencing and whatnot, they are important. And they really can change you, and they are probably going to change you, because I don't know in which way you're able to kind of deal with that as a children or as a child, and therefore are taking it with you until you can deal with it, whether you know it or not. But it's an interesting thing, and I mean, if you're interested in it, please look it up. There is maybe a lot of things that you can learn about maybe your addiction, your problems, also anger. Whereas anger is actually something genetically, or can be something genetic. You know, that you're angry because there's a certain gene, I guess. I'm not sure. I really am not educated in there. That just makes you more likely to be angry, you know, or more sensitive to that. The learning of something new requires giving up the old self and death of outworn knowledge. To develop a broader vision, we must be willing to forsake, to kill our narrow vision. We begin by distrusting what we already believe, by actively seeking the threatening and unfamiliar, by deliberately challenging the validity of what we have previously been thought or taught and hold dear. The path lies through questioning everything. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? And I think, by the way, this is one of the things that I think helped me kind of the most in a certain way. Just because, and I'm actually probably going to talk about it in every single episode. I'm not that productive this week, and I haven't been, which just makes me a little bit unhappy. At least not as productive as I could. You know, I have been working out, I have been doing everything, I have been learning, but not, especially when it is about learning maths, not in a way that I would have liked to, I guess. Of course, I'm having just 3 weeks left. And I just actually need something to just fill that time with it, or with something quite. But yeah, anyway, what I want to say is that questioning why you're using P to calculate the area of a triangular, of just whatever, of a circle. Why do you need that? Why do you do that? And if you search for this, you know, and if you really look it up, if you Google for it until you find it, because these things are not that easily found, you're for always, for your whole entire life, gonna know that, because it is so fucking in your head. Maybe it's because of the emotions, maybe it's because of the experience of just doing something, having the movement and all those things. Could be the case, I'm unsure. But I think questioning things is just good. Yeah, the question of the day. The question of the day gonna be, similar to just yesterday's, I guess, which is, do you think that you could be doing something, that you could say something, that you could build something that could help somebody really a lot? But it is a person that's pretty close to you, which is then a really cool thing, or it is a person that that you don't even know. And I sometimes think that my I don't know what they're called, my veins, quite, I'm not sure if they are, and it also feels that way, kind of, that they are not just concave or concave, however, but convex. I hope that it is also just English. I'm not quite sure. So they are not just round, so that they pop through the skin, you know, as an oval kind of shape, but rather they go inside because it looks that way. It could also be because of the lighting. Could also be because of them being dark, but it kind of is a strange thing. Well, anyway, I'm going to end the episode there. I really hope that you're doing fine. I really hope that everything is fine in your life. Yeah. I wish you the best health, happiness, and also success, and also hope that you're going to remind yourself and you're going to be remembered. This basically means you're like, could you please go away? Yeah, 3 other questions that I'm having for you are, why are you here? What are you trying to change? And what is bothering you the most? These 3 questions are hopefully going to show you your purpose and maybe even a business idea, which is a good thing, a nice thing, whatever. But I'm going to see you the next time. I just hope, and I appreciate it. So I'll see you. I'm for sure gonna see you.